Hello, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see here, we're at the end of the 2007-2008 season. So I'm going to recap what happened this season and all the good stuff. And we're probably noticing that we are at the end of the season, not in the free agency period, but let's kind of get into things. Let's go to regular season standings. Yeah, we did the regular season. So as you see here, we finished 7th in the league. Let's see if we can get to the Eastern Conference to make it a little easier to see. And there we go. So we finished 4th in the Eastern Conference with 99 points, 44 wins, 27 losses, 11 overtime losses. So that's much better than the 35 and 38 or so record that they had. What did they have? Yeah, 35, 38, and 9. So had a lot, almost 10 more wins than the team actually did, which is pretty good. So we were able to make the playoffs, which I wasn't expecting, to be honest, but we did. Especially because we could barely string, even though we ended up doing pretty decent. There was most of the season we barely string wins together in simulation, so I had to play a lot of the games until around January, February time. Then we started to kind of do decent. Then our 3-10 March that the Islanders had that year, we were able to sim through most of that and stuff. So that's kind of where we got, I think, most of the extra wins there. But solid regular season, 4th in the East, 7th overall in the league. We had 3.32 goals for per game and 3.04 goals against per game. In terms of kind of player stats, let's look at player stats regular season. Here we go. We sort by points total. See, our leading scorer was Mike Comrie, finished with 38 goals, 59 assists for 97 points, which is pretty great. In terms of Mike Sillinger, you can see here he was our 5th highest scorer, 27 goals, 26 assists for 53 points, which is pretty solid considering he scored. How many did he score? He had, it's hard to read. So he had 14 goals, 12 assists. We basically doubled his points output. So he had 14 goals, 12 assists for 26 points in that regular season in 52 games. So we definitely had a pretty decent season with him. Plus 12 on the second line. He was starting the second line with Satan and Simone there. You can see plus 10 and plus 10, so relatively similar. So that's kind of regular season. Top scorers in the league. Kovalchuk was the top scorer. None of our players were in the top 10. Let's look at, I guess, then the playoff tree. And as you can see here, we won the Stanley Cup in 7 games. So let's kind of see how do we get there. So I was I remember in the kind of interview, I was like, that's probably going to be one season wonder because Mike Sillinger will probably retire afterwards, not thinking that we would actually win the Cup. But as so all these games except the last one were simulated because I simulated through them and then played the last one so I could get the footage of us winning the Cup. But so we could barely string together wins, strings of wins in the regular season through simming. So I was we got into playoffs and we got matched up against the Ottawa Senators. You see in the first round who were the 4 seed, and they had 2 of the top 3 scorers in the league. With Danny Heatley was tied for first with 118 points, and Jason Spezza with 114 points. So I was basically all right, we're probably screwed here. Probably gonna get swept. That'll be it. And then Sillinger will retire, and then that'll be it. But simulated, so we won the first 3 games, 3-1, 3-2, and 6-5. Ottawa won game 4, 3-2, and then we closed out the series in 5 with a 4-3 win. So that Ottawa was 4th in the East with 101 points. Then we got matched up against the Buffalo Sabres, who were 1st in the East with 113 points in the regular season. That series went to 7 games. We won game 1, 4-3. Buffalo won the next 2, 6-3 and 4-3. We then took a 3-2 series lead with 5-4 and 4-3 wins. Buffalo forced Game 7 with a 3-0 shutout win in Game 6, and then in Game 7 we opened up a can on them and won 6-3. So pretty solid stuff there. Game 7. Then Eastern Conference Finals, we got matched up against the Pittsburgh Penguins, who obviously were in the Cup final in 08. So 08 final was them against Detroit. Detroit, I don't think even made the playoffs. No, they did. They finished 3rd in the West, so they made the playoffs. But matched up against the real Eastern Conference champion, the Pittsburgh Penguins, who finished 2nd in the East with 105 points. But I don't know if I mentioned, but the Anaheim Ducks won the President's Trophy, 123 points, bananas points total. Eastern Conference Final, we stormed out to a 3-0 series lead with 4-1, 4-2, and 3-2 wins. Pittsburgh then kind of stopped us from winning the series twice with 3-2 and 4-3 wins. But Game 6, we were like, enough's enough. 5-4 win. And we advanced to the Stanley Cup Final against the, as you see, San Jose Sharks. So let's just check out. Detroit lost to the Sharks in the first round. So just trying to see where the actual Cup winner from that year ended up. But I see 7 games. We won the first game 6-2. I was like, all right, feeling good. We're potentially have a shot here at the Cup. And then the Sharks won the next 3 games, 4-3, 3-2, and 6-5. So I was like, ah, crap, we're done. We're toast. It's finished. It's over. We're making all the way Cup Final and then lose. Well, then simmed games 5 and 6. I was like, hopefully, you never know. Let's see, hopefully. And then we ended up winning those 3-1, 4-3 to force a Game 7. And then in Game 7 we won 4-2. So pretty solid stuff there. We were able to win the Stanley Cup. So it's a successful Jersey Quest Dynasty mode, which I wasn't expecting, to be honest. But in terms of player stats during the playoffs, so we'll kind of scroll through the entire team here so you kind of see who is on the roster. I didn't make any trades or anything, so basically it's the default roster if you're curious. So here we go. I'll kind of mark off specific like important players. So Mike Sillinger here finished with 42 points, 15 goals, 27 assists. He was the leading scorer in the playoffs, I think, but he did win the Conn Smythe as he was the leading scorer on the team that won the Cup. So he won the Conn Smythe Award, we're only a award winner. Bill Gannon was our captain. He finished with 41 points in the playoffs, so one behind. Miroslav Satan, who was kind of our player focus for the last series because we did finish with 18 points. Mike Sillinger here was one of the alternate captains, finished with 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points. Pretty solid point haul in the playoffs for him, I'd say. And then our other alternate captain, Brendan Witt, finished with 8 assists, 8 points. That's pretty solid stuff there. There's a goaltending I didn't really show it during the regular season, but I'll show it here so you can see that our goalies were Rick DiPietro, who is still being paid by this organization for a couple more years, unfortunately. Finished with all his played every game in the playoffs, but that Schmeh 895 save percentage. I don't know if that's like actually good or not, considering like it was enough to win us the cup, and like made a good regular season record, and his save percentage wasn't much better in the regular season. I don't think if you think it was better, I think it was worse in the regular season. But and then our backup was this chap Wade Dubliowicz. I probably butchered that and apologize, but yeah, he was our backup. Didn't play any games in the playoffs. And in terms of the other awards, kind of let's look at those quick. So obviously we won the cup. Bam. President Trophies said the Anaheim Ducks finished 123 points in the regular season, which is pretty crazy. Clarence S. Campbell obviously was the Sharks. That's who we played in the final. We were the Prince of Wales Trophy. And I said Ilya Kovalchuk was the leading scorer, 118 points, so he won the Art Ross. He kind of did a pretty decent cleanup here of the awards. Hart, well to Ilya. The Norris went to Matthew Schneider of the Ducks, the President's Trophy winning team. Kovalchuk also won the Lady Byng. Calder went to Rastislav Stana of the LA Kings. As I said earlier, Mike Comrie won the Conn Smythe with his 42 points in the playoffs. Ryan Miller won the Vezina, so we were able to beat the Vezina winning goaltender in round 2, which is pretty impressive. Then the Jennings went to J.S. Jaguar of the Anaheim Ducks. Unsurprisingly, so they're the best team in the league by 10 points. Masterton went to Henrik Zetterberg, who I guess apparently got traded to the LA Kings. Jack Adams went to Lindy Ruff of the Buffalo Sabres. Selke went to Tomas Holmstrom. Not sure if it's any relation to Simon Holmstrom of the current Islanders. Actually, you know, since we're here, I'm just going to look this up right now. Let's just look at Simon Holmstrom. So if you go on like hockey, not Simon House. I don't know who the hell. That's a classic music guy apparently. Simon Holmstrom. There we go. So if you go on their hockey reference page, it'll say like if they have relatives. Looks like he does not. Let's just look him up anyways, just to see Tomas Holmstrom. They're both Swedish, 4-time Cup winner. Jesus, so he was the Red Wings in 2002 and a couple of the other in 08 and stuff. Okay, but yeah, no relation apparently. Just curious, thought I might as well check it out. But yeah, no relation between the two. And Lester B. Pearson went to Kovalchuk, and then the Rocket Richard went to Sidney Crosby, even though he didn't even finish in the top 5 in scoring. He was the Rocket Richard winner. So that's kind of it. Everything. We've gone over our regular season. Kind of just pull up, I guess, Mike Sillinger's page just to wrap it up here. There you go. Where's he at? Where's my boy at? There he is, Mike Sillinger. So yeah, I was pretty unsurprised. I was honestly shocked, considering, like, as I said, we could barely string together simulated wins in the regular season. So I had to play a lot more games than I was expecting to, considering the Islanders were missed the playoffs. But I guess the playoffs turned around. The game was like, all right, Rick DiPietro's going to lock in, I guess, enough to win us games. Our scorers are going to pop off and stuff to win us games. We went on a mere magical run here to win the Stanley Cup. So this is fantastic. So the jeez. So yeah, we won the Stanley Cup. Pretty solid stuff. Mike Sillinger had a pretty solid regular season and playoffs, I'd say. So this is, like, as I said, the jersey focuses the home jersey, which you're going to see because that's what we're wearing in the Cup kind of presentation, all that good stuff, which is what Mike Sillinger wore during his 1,000th game, which happened this season. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. Next series on the channel, not quite sure what it is. I think it's going to be a video, like just a game. Not sure which game yet, I think. So it should be a game, and then after that, I think should be then another Kick Quest. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoy this series, and hopefully you check out whatever's next on the channel, and hopefully you like it too. But thank you for watching. As I said, hopefully you check out whatever's next on the channel as well. Thank you.